Okay, as I mentioned before in just another video, that I'm back, that I was going to make another video about little notes that I've taken over months, maybe even years, that I never got around to. I was going to do videos, make videos out of them, and I just have some, like, the title and then some highlights or lowlights, whatever. And I just want to read through them, and people can discuss or make videos or whatever they want to post, anything. Feel free. I've got a stack of them. I showed in that last video. I thought it was kind of funny, but I'm in a funny mood today. I'm in a good mood today. But I showed a big stack I have of them in the notepads. A couple of the notepads. I've got many notepads. Many. I have an addiction, I think, to notepads. Pretty ones, nice ones, cute little saying ones, inspirational ones, along that line. Okay, anyway, like I said in that video, I was going to go into to a store behind me. It was Tuesday morning, by the way, Tuesday morning store, and buy some more notepads, and that was fair warning. But I bought 4 of them. Yeah, I'm surprised. I have so many. Like I said, I think it's an addiction. So anyway, I'll move on to get to these notes. I always want to add a little bit to the first part. I'm kind of tired of just going right into the subject. I don't think that's good. I think Americans, well, I can't say Americans, people in the USA, yeah, we're not the only Americans. I think we do it more. We just jump on in and, no pleasantries. We need to stop that, in my opinion. Okay, now this time, these notes are mainly about, like, narcissistic abuse, topics along this line, also empaths, which I'm just looking at one on this page. I started off as empaths, but I've already done this video for a different channel, though. But it's about these kinds of topics, toxic people, just narcissistic behaviors, that some would call that, not a diagnosis, and dysfunctional families. And this one, actually, I just wrote it the other day. It was about a dream I had. It was very odd dream. Yesterday, I think it was, or the day before, I don't know. Irritating man on lawnmower. By the way, I also bought something else at Tuesday morning. Why don't I just go ahead and go for that one? It was popcorn covered with Butterfinger. Yeah, Butterfinger chocolate, whatever. Yeah. All right. Okay. I should mention this every once in a while in a video. I'm more laid back. My degrees are in psychology and sociology. I was a career student for many years. Some call it professional student. And I taught at college and university. I had enough of the rigidity. Had enough of that. Having to be practically perfect. Enough. So I'm more laid back. Plus, given I'm a sociologist, yeah, I'm kind of laid back. So let's get back to this notes. Okay. And like I said, I'm going to go through some of these notes so I can get rid of them. I didn't have time to do the videos. And this one, I think I just wrote yesterday or the day before. And I wrote the title, Empaths, and then the highlight or whatever was artifact. Okay. I never liked doing outlines when I was at college and university, and we were taught that so many times. Even as a child in grade school, we were taught that. I never did them. Never. I don't, unless I had to turn it in or something. I don't like them. So I'm guessing, I can't remember what you call each part. But anyway, I wrote this about empaths and artifacts. Now, I did a video on this for a different channel, and it was about, basically, are empaths, do they feel more about artifacts? Seriously. Not in really, not some mystical, magical way. I'm not a mystical, magical kind of person. I just think there's some kind of logic to it. I try to find something that's logical. And I do believe in coincidences and stuff like that. Online, teach their own and how they believe. I'm not judging anybody. Just don't hurt anybody, yourself, or break any laws, or something like that. Okay, to move on. After that one, yeah, I can see the connection with the empaths and artifacts. Now the next one was something, I don't usually do videos about dreams or dream interpretation, although I've always kind of been interested in these things. Like I said, not in a mystical, magical kind of way, no. But in this one, I don't know. I've been having, I don't know, I had a lot of problems come back to back. And serious, one was very serious. Okay, I shouldn't I'm trying to be serious in my tone even. Somebody put my life in danger and somebody else's. That was very bad. And then about a week later, I guess, I wound up in the hospital, the ER, and they released me, but I don't think they should have. It was, could have been congestive heart failure, but it turns out I don't think it was. Okay. They thought it was, and then they didn't think it was, so they're the professionals. Anyway, and after that I think it was earlier last week, I had there was some man, total stranger around my age. Apparently he thought he was some kind of big man on campus at my age, really. But you know how they are. The people who are narcissistic aren't very mature. And he was going to take it out on me. He fit that video I made about men who take things out on women. Seriously. And that caused me a lot of problems. And then the more recent one is that I have a friend who I don't think has made it. I don't think has beaten cancer. Still don't know. Not yet. Anyway, so I think this is what led up to me having some rather interesting dreams. One was recurring one I had last night, or this morning, woke up to it, about being on an elevator going up and down floors. People get off, and everything, the whole elevator just kind of disappears into, what are those things called? You know, they're like crates? No, what are they called? You know, that you put the stuff on top of. It's crate, right? The platform, what is it? You know, the metaboards. Anyway, that was the elevator at that point, and people were trying to help me, but they were very indifferent in their attempts to help. It was on the 5th floor. Okay. That's kind of like a recurring dream. I often have dreams about elevators being on there. I have a fear of elevators because I've been on runaway elevators since I was a child. Don't know why, but I have that bad luck. Okay, now before that, say yesterday, day before, whenever it was, I had a dream that I think was some kind of like, I don't know, I'll tell it, you see what you think. In the dream, I was in the, let's see, I was in Egypt, okay? I was part of a nomadic tribe. I don't know what year it was, because in the dream there was a Tide bottle, you know, for Tide laundry detergent. So it must not have been too many years ago, but at the same time it was. And I was in this nomadic tribe, and we were out in the desert, you know, all the sand and everything. And I was a little girl. I was like, I think in my dream, I think I was saying I was 7 years old. And I was walking with, most of them were walking, but they also had horses and buggies. And then there were some men that were on horses. It was very like royalty. They were dressed practically, many of the people were dressed wealthy. Okay, in those white, what are they called? The word is right on the tip of my tongue, but you know what I'm talking about. And then the headdress and stuff like that. Anyway, in Egypt. And so I was this little girl, and my mom did, and I never saw my mom in it. It wasn't my real mom. But she and my dad or somebody apparently did something wrong, and these warriors wanted to teach them a lesson. So they said I had to stay in the desert, and I couldn't go with the whole, what would it be called, caravan, I guess? I don't know. See, I don't know the terminology here. It's obvious. But I wasn't allowed to go with them, that I was going to have to stay there and basically die. No water. They couldn't leave me any food or anything. Well, of course, you know, my mom, which I didn't see in the dream, was, you know, having fits, and they said, you know, that they would have to leave me. And so they left me just standing there, this little girl, you know, wide-eyed and not knowing what was going on and what's going on, you know, confused and everything. But people kept leaving things underneath the sand, underneath their horse or buggy, underneath their buggy. It would put it in the sands for me, so I would have something to eat, something to drink, some map. One person put a map or something. But the last women in this, the last, you know, of the whole caravan, I don't know the term for it, but the last one were two young women. Didn't know them. In the dream I didn't know them. In real life I don't know them. And they decided that they were going to just go slow, but very slow, so then they could get away from the rest. And they had enough water and food supplies and stuff like that. And then I started to wake up at the dream, and what it was that these women, these three women, one was me as a child, me and the other two became, well, they were already women, they were real young, and when I became an adult too, we were all, what was it? It was considered as the warriors of the sands, something like that. And that's what it was in my dream, was I was then became a warrior of the sands. Me and these two other women. So, yeah, it must have been some kind of, try to pick me up or something. I don't know. What do you think? As I mentioned in the other video, some of my notes I didn't know where I was going with, and I didn't write much as it is. Like this one I have is, the title is Competitive People, and all I wrote was, when there is none. Okay. Don't know where I was going with that. But I do have something I can say about competitive people. The only person you should be competitive with is yourself. In other words, improve yourself. That's always been my philosophy as far back as I can remember. One size doesn't fit all, but yeah. The next one is, I said bodyguards stories. Well, that's a whole set of stories that I experienced, so I don't think anybody else. There's another one, was a Baylor job. That's an awesome hospital job. Okay, I got to tell the stories a different time, if I ever do. And the next one is about histrionic behavior. So, out of all of this one, of this one, this one is one that really I've experienced so much. I tend to call them narcissistic-histrionic people. Male, female, it happens with both. And I've just seen so many of them. I've known so many of them. And I'm not saying they're always against me. I'm saying I've seen them, lived with them, been around them, for pretty much all my 56 years. And now, some would call them simply borderline, that they have borderline personality disorder. Some of them, that I know, were diagnosed by a professional with borderline personality disorder. And that they're just exhibiting these behaviors from like narcissistic behaviors and histrionic behaviors, and sometimes psychopathic behaviors. Oh yeah, big time. Anyway, various behaviors. But anyway, yeah, I do have some clue on this. Okay, and basically my highlights on this that I wrote were, one of them was, what you need to do is, okay, yeah, how many of us have run across this type that they will say, what you need to do is, and they don't have a clue. Okay, they don't. They really don't. They don't know more than you. They make that assumption. And then what they say, and that what they say is like the worst thing, okay, you could do. But they're just, like my next line says, know-it-all. They know it all. They're the know-it-all type. Okay, and then another one is that they state or restate the obvious. Quite often. Especially if you just said it. Think about that for a second. Yeah. Let's see. They start speaking before you finish your story. Oh yeah, they can't allow anybody else to be the center of attention for very long. So if you're telling a story and people are paying attention, they're going to interrupt you so they can get that attention back on themselves. Now, this is not a one-size-fits-all kind of thing. Remember, read my disclaimer in the description box below this video on YouTube. But yeah, this is what I've seen, is that they have to have that attention on themselves. The ones I know, I don't think that every one of them does that. I don't think anybody, in this kind of thing, all people do, all of them. No, there's a big good mix. Okay, now I also wrote, once pointed out, comma, continues. So I think basically what I was mentioning, meant to go the direction, was that you can point it out to them that they're doing this kind of behavior, but they can still continue right then and there. They don't listen. I didn't write this on notes, but I know especially when you say, you're always telling me I'm wrong. How many of us have told one of these kind of people, you're always telling me I'm wrong? They say, no, I don't. Even in that you are. No, I'm not. But yeah, it's not a funny subject. they will do that. I have heard myself say that I don't know how many times, and I'm thinking, why do I waste my breath? Yeah, I found, more recently, I don't waste my breath. Okay, that was all that I wrote on that one, but I did also on a different day, I'm guessing. I don't know, this was over months, like I said, could be more than a year. But it was that, and I think it goes along with the last one because it's still the same kind of people. And it's that the title was going to be that basically you don't deserve good things. And these kind of people, some of them do feel this way. You don't deserve good things. Only they deserve it. And that high sense of entitlement, that everything good is supposed to be, high sense of entitlement doesn't necessarily mean that they want everything good is supposed to happen just to them. But in this case, yeah, the ones I've seen, yeah, only good things for them. You only get the leftovers if they decide to give it to you. This kind of mentality. But my notes, my little highlights and lowlights are I wrote, or for things to go right. Yeah, okay. Yeah, sometimes I can't read my own writing. But, or know where I'm going with it. And I wrote things down like clothing. Okay, yeah. Some of them, they don't think that you deserve proper or good clothing. It's more like bargain basement type or bargain rack or whatever. That's what you deserve. T-shirts. I'm saying that right now. I'm wearing a t-shirt that says be kind, be amazing, be yourself. I used to not wear t-shirts. This is not really a t-shirt. It's kind of like one. Anyway, moving on. And that same I wrote promotion. Yeah, they think they're the only ones that deserve a promotion, not you, but only they. Okay, another was they ensure that it won't happen. They find a way to make sure that it does not happen. They feel like they make it to where you can't feel good about, let's see, safe or secure. I'm trying to read my notes. I must have been in a hurry this day. Yeah, and it says, and if you don't like it, something will go wrong to make it worse. Because they make this happen. Yeah, I have known so many of these people that, man, what do they do? If they would just channel that energy that they put out to do bad things, bad and evil things to other people, imagine how much better this world might be, because it's becoming, in my view, way too much like this. Far too much. And some people will tell you, I still want to see that research. It says it's like 70%. I still want to see that research. Anyway, let's see, what else did I say on that one? Oh, and that they will even tell you that you have it too good. Oh, I shouldn't laugh, but you know how it's a laughter of the nerve, the just total nerve of these people that do this. They just tell you have it too good because of them. Remember now, these are the people who want to basically enslave you. I don't like to use the word slavery because that is something that is, very deep. We shouldn't make light or, that word is there for a reason. That we shouldn't use it. Anyway, I don't know where my mind's going on that one, but yeah, I do. I think you do too. But anyway, these are people who have made you their employee, the unpaid employee, or they threatened. There's always going to be, not always, but much of the time, there's going to be at least a hint of a severe consequence if you don't do as they say. Seriously. Some of them are like that. Some of you might not have that kind of, those are more, some would call them covert narcissists, focusing on that is behind the scenes kind of thing. Not, saying they're like the vulnerable narcissist. Not exactly, but in a way, yes. It's the same thing. People say it's the same thing. But I think that sometimes they're focusing more on the fact that it's behind the scenes, is what I'm trying to say, as I just said, actually. But, yeah, these are the ones that say that you have it good, when really you do not feel like you have it good at all. You just haven't been able to leave yet. Hopefully it's a yet, and hopefully you can leave safely with your counselor's guidance and all that. Hopefully it works out. But yeah, all the while they're going to make you feel like crap and tell you, on the one hand, let you think that you don't deserve anything good, and then turn around and say that they're giving you, that you have it too good because they're giving you everything when they ain't giving you crap. Well, they are giving you crap. Okay, I have a whole slew of notes left over. I'm serious. I make notes. I get out to go make videos. But the thing is, I'll have a lot of thoughts, like especially in the morning. I used to say it's when my subconscious mind, or some would call it unconscious mind, and my conscious mind are really close together, and I'll just sit there and make, write out the notes that come, thoughts that pop in my head. Well, there's no way I'm going to be able to make that many videos. Yeah, well, I can make that many videos, but I just can't put them all out in one day because I have this little thing that's not socially acceptable. I need to get over that. I really do need to get over that. My original channel, 5 years, and I haven't gotten over it. So for some reason it's sticking to me. Yeah, we'll see. Okay, but this is long enough. I don't know how long these last two are, and I was saying in that last one I'm running out of minutes on my camera, room on my camera, and right now it's down to I have 10 minutes left. And the last one I was saying that. So anyway, I'm wrapping this up. I still got plenty more, and I'll make other videos, maybe. We'll see.